एतम् आदिनं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थमतलं भजेताप्त्रयापहं मिथ्या सिद्धान्तदुद्ध्वान्त विध्वंसनविचक्षणः जयतीत्यागतनिर्भासतां नो हृदम्बरे आत्तिकल्पितकल्पोऽयं प्रत्यत्यकेसरी व्यासतीर्थगुरुर्भूयात् अस्मदिष्टार्थसिद्धये तपोविद्याविरक्त्यादि सद्गुणोगाकरानं वायुराजगुरून् वन्दे हैग्रीवदाश्रयान् पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मर्ताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे दुर्वायुध्वान्तरवे वैष्णवेन्दीवरेन्दवे श्रीराघवेन्द्रगुरुवे नमोऽत्यन्त्याळवे आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाक्तिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धिं च मनोरथाः हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. Today we are doing the English session for Vishnu Sahasranama. We'll say the Rishi Devata Chandas and continue. Asya Sri Vishnu Divya Sahasranam Stotra Mahamantrasya Sri Vedavyaso Bhagavan Rishi Anushtup Chandah Sri Mahavishnu Paramatma Srimannarayano Devata Sri Lakshmi Narayana Prasad Siddhate Jape Vinyogaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Vishwasmai Namaha Om Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhaut Prabhu Bhutakrut Bhutavrut Bhavo Bhutatma Bhutabhavanaha Bhutatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagatihi Avya Purushasakshi Kshetrignokshaye Cha Yogo Yoga Vidam Neta Pradhana Purusheshwaraha Nasimha Pushriman Keshava Purushottamah Sarvasharva Shivastanur Bhutadir Nidhiraviya Sambho Bhavano Bharta Prabho Prabhurishwaraha. So in this, in the third verse, Yogo Yoga Vidam Neta, we saw yoga, and for Yoga Vidam Neta, this is the one we are going to see today. So Yoga Vidam Neta, yoga, we saw the meanings, Jnanopaya, etc. So Yoga, and then the next, there are three words in that broadly, mainly, yoga with Vidam Neta. So here, vidrulu labhe or vidrulu dhatu, the root word, that vidrulu is has like vichara, jnana, labha, all this. So yoga vidam means those who obtained, or those who meditated upon, or those who know. So those who acquired. So all this with respect to yoga. So what is yoga here? Yoga Vidam Neta, in addition to the meanings that we saw in Yoga Shabda, here Chitta Nirodhakhyam Yogam Moksha Upaya Jnana Bhakti Adi Rupam Yogam Va Vindanti Vindataha Vindanti. So this Vidrudhatu, Vindati is Ekavachana, Vindataha Dvivachana, Vindanti Bahuvachana. So Yogam Vindanti. So yoga vidaha means yogam vindanti. What is yoga? Chitta nirodha akhyam yogam. Chitta nirodha. Chitta means manas, controlling the mind. So for obtaining moksha, the first step we have to do is controlling the mind, is the primary first step. So this chitta nirodha akhya means called, known as chitta nirodha, that is yoga, and that is used to obtain moksha. Moksha upaya jnana bhakti adi rupam, through jnana and bhakti. Because if to obtain jnana and bhakti, first step is to control the mind, that we can experience. So the knowledge is possible only when we have the concentration power. To acquire knowledge, we have to, so like Shravana, Manana, all this you do. To do the Shravana, we apply our mind and do the Shravana. And then we apply the mind, do the Manana. Then we apply the mind, do the Dhyana. So Shravana, Manana, Dhyana, all of them have mind as the primary agent. So for that, the mind has to be controlled. So after controlling the mind, for obtaining the moksha, the upaya, the technique is jnana bhakti adi rupam, in the form of knowledge and bhakti. Because without knowledge and bhakti, obtaining moksha is not possible. So this jnana and bhakti, of course, jnana alone is not what it is, because to obtain the jnana we need to do karma. So karma and jnana are interlinked, and through the jnana which is coupled with bhakti is what is needed to obtain the moksha. That is what is called jnana yoga, karma yoga. We talked about it. So this jnana, karma, rupa yoga is complete only when it is joined with bhakti. So this bhakti and sahita jnana karma yoga marga is having as a prerequisite the chitta nirodha, as a control of the mind. So this is what is yoga, and such yoga, those who obtained it, yoga vidaha means those who obtained, those who acquired, those who are treading, those who know this path, they are jnana. So yoga vidaha jnaninaha. So those who know the yoga, they are called jnanis, or they are also bhaktas. So they are not only jnanis, they are bhakta jnanis, bhaktas and jnanis. They are wise people who are devoted, devotion and wisdom together in one place. Those are called yogis or yoga vid. So such yoga vidam jnaninaha bhaktaha cha tesham yoga vidam means sashti tatpurusha yoga vid ekavachana yoga vidau yoga vidaha bahuvachana. Those who obtained this method of yoga, they are yoga vidaha, and their neta means one who gives the prerana. Neta is one who gives the prerana, one who guides, one who leads, one who takes us along. He is neta. So Paramatma is the neta, preraka, instigator for yoga vidaha. That's why he is called yoga vidam neta. So muktehe prapakascha. So he is the one who makes us reach our mukti. So that's why he is called yoga vidam neta, one who guides us and takes us to mukti through this yoga. That's why he is yoga vidam neta. So that is the meaning, that is first meaning, primary meaning. This is what we have to think about when we talk about yoga vidam neta. So one who guides us, takes us towards moksha. So as I said, chitta nirodha, control of the mind. Why the control of the mind is needed? So that we don't get deluded. A little brahma also, brahma purvaka jnana will not be there. Paripakva, that means matured knowledge, is possible only when the mind is brought under control. So the control of the mind enables us to have matured and undiluted jnana purvaka bhagavad rupa vichara jnana. So that kind of a thing is possible only when the mind is under control. So this shuddha jnana, whoever has that, he is yogavid. So this is what Brahma Purana says that. So this kind of jnana, so this Brahma Purana Acharya quotes it in Bhagavatatparanireya, samyam ishvara rupeshu sarvatra tad adhinatam pashyati jnana sampatya vinidro yah sah yogavid. Yogavid means one who knows yoga, or one who obtained yoga, one who mastered yoga. He is one who has the knowledge, this kind of a knowledge. What is that knowledge? Samyam Ishvara Rupeshu. All the forms of the Lord in everything is the same. The Lord's forms are same. Not that the objects are same. If you take object 1 and object 2, the Lord form in object 1 and object 2 are same. It does not mean that the object 1 is same as object 2. So the difference is between the objects, it continues. But the Paramatma's rupas in them are same. So that is Samyam Ishvara Rupeshu Sarvatra Tad Adhinatam. Everything is under the control of the Lord. So Pashyati Jnana Sampatya, one who sees it through his wealth of knowledge, he is Yeah, I think I got disconnected.
Yeah, come back.
Yeah, you come back. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is Yoga Vidam Neta. So the knowledge, the true knowledge is realizing that the Lord's forms are same in every place. So Jnanam tu Yoga Shabdoktam Yujyate Anena Yat Sukham Kvachit Yoga Upayaha Syat Kvachit Chitta Nirodhanam. So in Dattatreya Yoga, Acharya quotes in Bhagavatatparaniya this also, where he says the knowledge which is Yoga Shabda Uktam, the knowledge known as Yoga. As I said, Yoga, when we saw the Yoga word also, Yuj Dhatu. The Yoga word is with Yuj Dhatu. Yujyate means is along with that. So one who is having this Yoga Upaya is Yogi or Yoga with. So that is Yoga with Kvachit Chitta Nirodhanam. It also needs the Chitta Nirodha or the control of the mind. So this is what is Yoga with. So yoga vidam neta. So and such yoga vidam neta, Paramatma is yoga. No, the another way we can see is yoga namakam bhagavantam vindanti jananti iti yoga vidah bhagavad jnaninah tesham neta moksha prapakah. We saw the word yoga. Yoga means Paramatma. Yogo yoga vidam neta. Yoga Paramatma with the meanings that we saw for yoga. So with those meanings, yoga means Paramatma. Vidam means Vindanti Jananti. So one who know about Paramatma. So Bhagavantam Vindanti Jananti iti yoga vidha. So with Vidru Labhe, Vidru Jnane, Vidru Vichare. So Vidru Dhatu, it means knowing, obtaining, reaching, acquiring, contemplating, all these are there. So yoga vidam means those who are aware of, or those who have the knowledge of Paramatma, they are also yoga vidah. Bhagavad jnaninah tesham neta moksha prapakah. Neta means one who takes us over, or one who guides us, one who leads us. So that's why moksha prapakah. That means obtaining moksha is reaching Paramatma. So one who makes us reach Paramatma. So this is moksha pradayaka rupa. So the first meaning we talked about is in samsara Paramatma guiding us so that we go towards moksha. And in the second meaning, that what we are seeing is after having traveled through the path, he makes us go to moksha. So one who guides us and leads us during our samsara stage, and one who takes us from samsara stage to moksha stage, and one who also guides us and instigates us even in moksha. So three stages. One is during samsara, another is from samsara to moksha migration, another is after reaching moksha, still being an instigator for us. So in all three stages, Paramatma is there with us. That's why he is yoga vidam neta in three different stages. So the meaning also can be applied in these three stages. So yoga vidam neta. And then, so that's why the first and second and third meaning are, first meaning is during samsara stage, second meaning is leading us from samsara to moksha, third one is moksha, having after reaching the moksha, one who guides us in the moksha also. Yoga namakam bhagavantam vindante labhante iti yoga vidaha muktaha tesham neta. The liberated souls, even in moksha, he is our neta, he is our guide. That's why he is yoga vidam neta even in moksha. So this is the third meaning. So in three stages, he is yoga vidam neta. And then another meaning that we can talk about is yogam samadhim vindanti jananti iti yoga vidaha bhaktaha tesham neta moksha palam prapayita iti yoga vidam neta. Another yoga is yoga samadhi. Samadhi does not mean like, end of life. Samadhi means samyak adi. That means firmly putting our mind in Paramatma is called samadhi. Samadhi means samyak adi. That means putting our mind perfectly in Paramatma. That means thinking about the Lord in a whether sampragnat samadhi or asampragnat samadhi. That's what we say. Samadhi means keep putting our mind in Lord. For that also chitta nirodha is needed. Only those who control the mind can contemplate upon God. This one we talk about vichare, meditation. So yoga vidam means those who meditate upon Paramatma, they are yoga vidam. Basically yogis are yoga jnanis. Those who have obtained the technique of yoga, they are yoga vidam neta, yoga vidaha, bhaktaha, tesham neta moksha phalam prapayita. So yoga, those who know about the yoga, for them Paramatma guides, instigates and leads us. So that is yoga vidam neta. So samadhi avastha, in that also Paramatma guides us. That means those who obtained, who acquired the technique of samadhi, Paramatma leads them, guides them and takes them towards moksha. This talking about with respect to yoga samarthya, jnana samadhi capable people. So for them yoga vidam neta. Then another one we talked about is yoga. Yoga means, remember anyas chintayanto mam ejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. As Sri Krishna says, Yoga Kshema, I take care of the people. So yoga and kshema, as I mentioned earlier, yoga means obtaining something that we don't have. Kshema means preserving something that we already acquired. That is kshema. So yoga and kshema. So yoga and kshema, one who is making all the devotees have that yoga part. So kshema part is different, okay? So kshema is preserving whatever we have. Yoga part is making us acquire what we don't have. So that is yoga part. So that yoga part, one who makes us acquire, yogam vindanti vicharayanti jananti labhante. So he makes us obtain that yoga shakti. So that's why he's called yoga. Yoga means the ability to contemplate or meditate, and such people, those jnanis, their yoga kshema Paramatma Tesham Jnanam Neta Yoga Kshema Vahanadina iti Yoga Vidam Neta. So Ananya Sintentomam, like that. Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So by taking care of our Yoga Kshemas, one who leads us, guides us. That's why he is Yoga Vidam Neta. Moksha Phala Prapayita. This is Yoga Vidam Neta. So Yoga Vidam Neta. This is another meaning of yoga. And here we should know about this yoga and Sankhya. The shabdas are used in Bhagavad Gita in one place, and it says Yoga Kshema. There, Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Mitya Vidhiyate. Krishna teaches and says, this is what I have, Samyak Khyati, I have taught you Sankhya. Now I am going to teach you yoga. Jnanopaya. Sankhya means knowledge. Samyak Khyati. A good, perfect knowledge is called Sankhya. And then yoga is, and the methodology, the technology to obtain that knowledge is yoga. So the Sankhya and yoga that are referred in Bhagavad Gita are the correct forms of Sankhya and yoga. But at the same time, there are also schools, Sankhya school and yoga school, like, Patanjali Yoga Shastra and Sankhya. As I said, two Kapila Maharshis are. One is Paramatma, Kapila Rupi Paramatma is there, and there is another Kapila Rupi Maharshi. The Kapila Rupi Maharshi, he taught Nirishwara Sankhya. From that Seshwara Sankhya, that means atheistic form of Sankhya Jnana. How come the Rishi taught? That means as per the guidance of Rudra or Paramatma, sometimes the Rishis also, they teach this for Asura Mohana and other reasons. So the Kapila Rupi Maharshi who taught this Sankhya Shastra, which is Nirishwara Sankhya, that is not what is mentioned, or that is not what is intended by Krishna when he said he taught Sankhya. Similarly, the Sankhya Shastra that Kapila Rupi Paramatma taught to Devahuti, that is the true Sankhya, and the only way it is available today is in Bhagavata through Kapila Gita. Whatever Sankhya Jnana the Kapila Rupi Paramatma gave, that Sankhya that is available is only in the Kapila Gita form. The original Sankhya that Paramatma taught, that one is not available, but the Sankhya Shastra, that's popular Sankhya that is available today, is not 100% correct. In fact, a lot of it is not acceptable. That was refuted by Acharya in Brahma Sutra Vyakhyana. So the Sankhya school that is presently available, that is not the correct Sankhya. Same way the yoga school that is available is not the true yoga that is to be understood, and that yoga school also is refuted by Acharya. What yoga is available is whatever Krishna taught in Bhagavad Gita, the true yoga, that is the correct yoga. So that is what here Yoga Vidam Neta is talking about, the true form of yoga, one who makes us acquire the Yoga Shastra as taught by Sri Krishna Paramatma. So that yoga is what is the correct yoga, and the same yoga is what Paramatma taught to Chaturmukha Brahma, as we mentioned a few times. So Janmadya Setonvayat Itaratasha Artheshu Abhignaswarat Tene Brahma Hudaya Adi Kavaya Muhyantiyam Suryaha. There, whatever Paramatma taught, the yoga that Paramatma taught to Chaturmukha Brahma, and Chaturmukha Brahma, he taught the same yoga to other gods like Rudradeva and others. So that is the correct Yoga Shastra, and that Yoga Shastra is acceptable. So Hiranyagarbha Prokta Yoga Shastra is praiseworthy. In Brahma Sutra, Etena Yoga Pratyuktaha, where it is doing a Khandana of the yoga, it is the yoga school that is being Khandana is done, but the yoga that we are talking about here, so that means the same word yoga is also used for the correct knowledge, also the same yoga is used, and the yoga school that is available, same way, the Advaita school we don't agree, but Advaita Jnana, where Advaita means the non-duality, means there, when we talk about the Paramatma's Rupas, one Paramatma Rupa and another Paramatma Rupa, there is no difference. That Advaita is acceptable. That is true Advaita. Now, in Harikatamrasara also it says Bhava Advaita, Kriya Advaita, Dravya Advaita. We believe in that. What it means is Paramatma's forms that are there in all Bhavas, Paramatma's forms that are there in all Dravyas, Paramatma's forms that are all there in all Kriyas, they are all same. That kind of Advaita means where all Paramatma's Rupas are same. That is acceptable Advaita. Jivatma, Paramatma are same. That Advaita is not acceptable. Same way the yoga school that has been refuted in Brahma Sutra, that is incorrect yoga form. Yetena yoga pratyuktaha. So the yoga that is refuted there is the wrong yoga thoughts. But the yoga that is mentioned here, Yoga Vidam Neta, is Chaturmukha Brahma imparted. Chaturmukha Brahma was acquired from Paramatma, and he taught to Rudra and other Uttama Devatas. So that yoga is acceptable yoga. So when we say yoga, there are two kinds of yoga. One is just like a Sankhya has two kinds of Sankhya, acceptable Sankhya, unacceptable Sankhya. Same way yoga, two kinds of yoga, acceptable yoga, unacceptable yoga. Nirishwara Sankhya is unacceptable. Kapilaru Paramatma taught, Seshwara Sankhya is acceptable. And yoga, Patanjali and others, whatever yoga school taught, those yoga sutras, that is not acceptable. That not acceptable, not that 100% rejected, but in that whatever is incorrect, those things are refuted. So there is unacceptable yoga is there, and acceptable yoga is what Sri Krishna Paramatma taught us in Bhagavad Gita. That is yoga is acceptable. So two meanings are there for yoga, just as there are two meanings for Sankhya. So this yoga is acceptable yoga. So Yoga Vidam Neta is referring to the acceptable yoga that is praised in all our Shastras. So this is what is important. So I pause it here. So any questions are there, you can feel free to ask the questions. Sikshnarpanamastu. Hare Srinivasa. Yo Namah. Abhramam Bhangarahitam Ajadam Imlam Sada Anandatitmatlam Bhajetapatrayapaham Mithya Siddhanta Dudhvanta Vidvamshana Chakshana Zaititagata Nirbhasatam No Hrudambare Attikalpita Kalpoyam Pratyatyaga Kesari Vyasatitta Gurubhuyad Asmudishtat Siddhaye Tapo Vidya Virakyadi Sadgunauka Karanam Vadiraja Gurun Munde Hegryoptashayan Pujya Raghavendraya Satyadharmarataya Bhadatam Kalpurukshaya Namatam Kamadhenave Durvadi Dhvantrave Vaishnavindi Varendave Shri Raghavendra Guruvena Muttintayadave Apadamani Paryantam Guru Namaktam Smaret Tena Vignaha Pranashyanti Siddhyans Manorathaha Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We are doing the English session of Vishnu Sahasranama. So tell the Rishi Devata Chandas and proceed. Asya Sri Vishnu Divya Sahasranama Stotra Mahamantrasya Shri Vedavyaso Bhagavan Rishihi Anushtup Chandha Sri Mahavishnu Paramatma Shriman Devata Sri Lakshmi Narayana Prasada Siddhate Jape Vinyogaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Vishwasmai Namaha Om Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhutakrut Bhutavrut Bhavo Bhutatma Bhutabhavana Bhutatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagatihi Avya Purusha Sakshi Kshetra Gnoksharayevacha Yogo Yoga Vidam Neta Pradhana Purusheshwaraha Narasimha Pushriman Keshva Purushottama Sarva Sharva Shivastanur Bhutadin Nidhraviha Sambhavo Bhavano Bharta Prabha Purishwaraha. So we are doing the third verse, third Shabda. We have done the Yoga Vidam Neta. Now we are going to do Pradhana Purusheshwaraha. So this Shabda, Pradhana, Purusha and Ishwaraha, Purusha and Ishwara, they come as separate words also. In Vishnu Sahasranama itself, Ishwara Shabda comes. Purusha Shabda, we already saw that. So Purusha Shabda itself represents Paramatma. Ishvara Shabda itself represents Paramatma. So this composite word is also, so Akhanda Rupas are there Paramatma. This message also is conveyed here in a hidden way. So Paramatma's Ananta Rupas, when we think about this name, which form should we think about? So what should we, the first thought that comes to our mind, what, like, we say Nama, Rupa, Guna, Kriya, the name, the form, the qualities, and the Kriyas. So here, this Nama, Pradhana Purusheshwara, with this, what Rupa should we think of? What Guna and what Kriya? Rupa is formation, Guna is qualities, Kriya means actions. So here, the Shabdas that are there, 3 Shabdas are there, Pradhana, Purusha, and Ishvara. Pradhana means the dictionary meaning, the literal meaning is important. So the Pradhana, important means it can be, contextually, anything, sometimes in a context, something that we need, it may be important for us in that context. So it depends upon the context, what we are talking about. So in this Shastric point of view, for thinking about the Lord, the greatest Pradhana, Lord himself is Pradhana. By Pradhana Shabda, we will talk about Lord being addressed, but here in the first meaning, Pradhana, Purusha, these two, the two entities, and Ishvara, one who is Ishvara, the Lord of Pradhana and Purusha. What are Pradhana and Purusha? So Pradhana is this whole universe. For that to come into existence, for the whole creation, the Prakriti creation, what we need is primordial matter. We'll call Mula Prakriti, we call. So crude translation, actually the primordial matter may not be appropriate translation, but it is the ultimate root substance, whatever. So that Mula Prakriti is Pradhana. And from Mula Prakriti, what Paramatma does, he creates, first time he brings into the Srishta Prapancha, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas in the Sukshma forms, and by mixing them, he creates a Jada Prakriti, which is even the root of Mahat Tattva, Ahankar. So even prior to the creation of Mahat Tattva, so the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna Rashis that he creates, those Rashis are the piles of Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas, which are used to create Mahat Tattva. What is Mahat Tattva? Mahat Tattva basically is one of the root substances for which Chaturmukha Brahma is the Abhimani. So from Mahat Tattva is the root of Ahankara Tattva. Ahankara Tattva is the root of the Panchabhutas and Panchatanmatras and all the Prakriti, like, Pancha Indriyas. For all these, whatever is the root, that Manas Tattva, for all this, the Ahankara Tattva is the root, and for Ahankara Tattva, Mahat Tattva is the root, and for Mahat Tattva, the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna Rashis. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas are Prakritika Gunas that, let us not talk about the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas of this Swarupa. They, as I mentioned a lot of times, they're same names, but they're different things. But the Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna Rashis, the piles, heaps that are brought into what we call the manifested Prakriti. So they asataha sadajayata. We hear this statement in Shastras. Asat is that which is not manifested. The Mula Prakriti is called Asat. And the Jada Prakriti, which is manifested, it is called Sat. So from Asat, God creates Sat, or Sat comes out of Asat. Sat is created from Asat. Asat means not false. Asat does not mean a falsehood or lie or something, or mithya. Asat means that which is not manifested. So the Asat, from that, Sat is created. So this Asat or Mula Prakriti is Pradhana, and from that, the first substance that is created, that Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Guna Rashis, Avyakta Tattva, that Avyakta Tattva that is created, that is also Pradhana. That Avyakta Tattva, and from that Avyakta Tattva, Mahat Tattva is created. That Mahat Tattva is, what you call Karana for the next Karyas. So Upadana Karana is material cause, and Nimitta Karana is efficient cause. Paramatma is only Nimitta Karana. He is not Upadana Karana for anything. Of course, the questions that arise from all that we'll talk about at the end. But this Mahat Tattva is created from this Avyakta Tattva, and Lakshmi Devi is Abhimani and Niyamaka. She is the presiding deity for both Mula Prakriti and Jada Prakriti. Mula Prakriti is also Jada Prakriti, but unmanifest form, and the manifest Jada Prakriti. So Jada Prakriti is of Mula Prakriti, which is unmanifest form, and Jada Prakriti that is in manifest form, whatever is in the Sushta Prapancha or created world. So both are called Jada Prakriti, and for this Jada Prakriti, Lakshmi is the Abhimani, and she is also called Chetana Prakriti, Chit Prakriti, or Chetana Prakriti, Chit Prakriti, both are identical. That is Lakshmi Devi. So Lakshmi Devi is Chetana Prakriti. So this Prakriti Shabda is used both for Mula Prakriti, Mula Jada Prakriti, and created Jada Prakriti, and Prakriti Shabda is used for Chetana Prakriti Lakshmi also. So for all these things, the Prakriti Shabda is same way. The Pradhana Shabda is used for Mula Prakriti and the Avyakta Tattva, that is also Pradhana, and Lakshmi Devi, who is Abhimani of both Mula Prakriti and the Pradhana. Mula Prakriti as Pradhana and the created Prakriti as Pradhana. Both are called Pradhana. So now Pradhana broadly applied to three different things. Pradhana means Mula Pradhana Prakriti, created Jada Pradhana Prakriti, and Chetana Pradhana Lakshmi Devi. All are known by the name Pradhana. Here, Lakshmi Devi is more Pradhana among all these. Among these three, Lakshmi controls the other two. That's why she is ultimate Pradhana. So it applies to Lakshmi in more important way. So Lakshmi is Pradhana, and then Purusha. Purusha also, as we know, earlier we saw, it applies to Paramatma, it applies to Saturmukha Brahma, it applies to Gardashesha Rudras, it applies to Vayudeva, it applies to lesser gods also, it applies even for ordinary human beings also. The word Purusha is applied. But the context and the usage are different. So now this Purusha here in this context, in the first meaning, Pradhana and Purusha, Pradhana Vachya Lakshmi Devi and Purusha Vachya Chaturmukha Brahma, they are implied here. And another way we can talk about Chaturmukha Brahma as Purusha is because he is the Abhimani of all the Jivas, Sarva Jiva Abhimani, and all the Jivas are also called Purushas. So the Purusha Jivas, Purusha means not male, Purusha means male or female, all the ones who have body, whoever has body, they are called Purushas. So all the Jivas are called Purushas, and their Abhimani, Chaturmukha Brahma, it is applied to him in a highest way among all the living beings that are under the control of Lakshmi Narayanas. Among them, Chaturmukha Brahma is the Purusha. So he is Purusha. So Pradhana and Purusha, for them Ishvara. Ishvara is Niyamaka. So that's why he is called Pradhana Purusha Ishvara. Pradhanamcha Purushascha Pradhana Purushau Prakriti Chaturmukhau Tayoho Ishvaraha Swami Pradhana Purusheshvaraha. So one who is the Lord of Pradhana Namaka Lakshmi and Purusha Namaka Chaturmukha Brahma. That's why it's called Pradhana Purusheshvara. So this form should come to our mind and is a direct meaning. So Lord as the controller of Lakshmi and Chaturmukha Brahma. So this is the controlling form of the Lord. We can think about him as Narayana, Mula Rupa, who controls these two. And there, like Lakshmi in Ambrani Sukta, she says, Mama Yoni Rapswanta Samudre. For my source also here in the Samudra, as Seshashai, Narayana, he is my source. And Chaturmukha Brahma also says, Paramatma is my source. So that form of the Paramatma, Namula Narayana, who is controlling Lakshmi and Chaturmukha Brahma, that is Pradhana Purusheshvara, that Narayana Rupa, we can think about that here in the primary meaning. So this is one of the meaning. And then this Sayat Purva Asmat Sarvasma Sarvan Papman Aushat Tasmat Purushaha. Another way Chaturmukha Brahma can be thought about as Purusha is Purusha. Pura is Purna. Sha means Usha. Pura Usha. Usha Aushat. Aushat means washing away or destroying or burning away. So burning away everything means all the sins. That means whatever bandhanas are there, for us to go to moksha, these bandhanas have all to be burnt away. And when aproksha jnana comes, the karmas get burnt away. for obtaining the Aparoksha Jnana and for obtaining the moksha, we need the grace of Chaturmukha Brahma also. He has to grant us the knowledge. He has to be inside us and instigate us. Mukhya Pranadeva and Chaturmukha Brahma and Lakshmi Devi, all of their anugraha is needed to get Aparoksha Jnana and also to get moksha. So that way also, Pura Usha, that means completely burning away all our sins. For that reason also, Chaturmukha Brahma is called Purusha. So this is so Sarvajiva Abhimani Sapara Purusha Uchyate. And then how does he control Lakshmi and Narayana? What does he control? So that is explained, elaborated in Bhagavatatpara Nirnaya. There he says, Adharo Vyanjakaschaiva Prasavitacha Keshavaha Kala Prakriti Pumsamcha Tan Mula Prakrutehe Api Adharaha Vyanjakaschaiva Sarvasyapi Niyamakaha. What it means is, Adhara means support. One of the ways he is Swami, Odaya or Lord is, he gives the support to both Lakshmi and Chaturmukha Brahma. So Lakshmi is always in the heart of Paramatma, and Chaturmukha Brahma through Nabhikamala he is created. So he is Adhara for Lakshmi and Chaturmukha Brahma. And Vyanjakaha Chayeva. Vyanjakaha means he makes their activities manifest. That means his Vyanjaka means manifestation. Or whatever they perform, all their things, they are made to manifest because Paramatma graces them. So because of the Paramatma's anugrah, he is the Vyanjaka. That means one who makes them manifest all their activities. That's why he is Vyanjaka of Lakshmi and Chaturmukha Brahma. And his Prasavita. Prasavita means creator. Creator means, okay, for Chaturmukha Brahma, in Navikamala he gets created, and of course he does not have avatara, but if you take Vayudeva avataras, God makes them, come into creation. So they are under control of Paramatma, so their avatara, their creation happens. But Lakshmi is Nityamukta. She does not get created. So how can it apply Lakshmi? That two ways. So for Lakshmi, whatever is to be manifested, so of course she is Nityamukta, but whatever is manifested, Vishesha Avapti Vikas, so the Vishesha, that means the manifestation of her powers, that happens because of Paramatma, one thing. Second thing, even when Lakshmi takes the avatara, she comes as with her own, without any physical body, with her Mula Rupa, but still that happens as per the will of Paramatma. So he is still the Prasavita. In that way, he is Prasavita, creator for Lakshmi and also Chaturmukha Brahma. So that's why he is also called Keshava. Keshavaha means Kaha Brahma iti proktaha Isha Rudro Vyavasthitaha Tau Vartayati iti Keshavaha. So one who controls Brahma and Ishvara, that's why is called Keshava. That's another thing. So this is the one. So Kala Prakriti Pumsam. Kala is time. Prakriti is nature. Pumsam means Purusha Rupi Chaturmukha Brahma. Tan Mula Prakrutehe api, and Mula Prakriti also. Here Prakriti means Lakshmi Devi. Mula Prakriti, primordial matter. For all of that, Paramatma is Adhara Vyanjaka, Sarvasya api Niyamakaha, and he is the Niyamaka, controller of everything. That's why he is called Pradhana Purusheshwara. So this is, of course, everything, when it is given a meaning that establishes Sarvottamatva, then it refers to the Lord. When the meanings are given, which are not Sarvottamatva meanings, then they are applicable to different entities. So that is how. So how can same name represent God and also represent something else? Depending upon the meaning. If the meaning is Sarvottama meaning, then it applies to God. If it's not Sarvottama meaning, then it is not applicable to God. It is applicable to other entities. So this is how we determine which meaning goes to Paramatma and which doesn't. So this is Pradhana Purusheshwaraha. After seeing this meaning, let us go to the other meanings. So Pradhana Purusheshwaraha. Now this Purusha, as we say, instead of Chaturmukha Brahma, if you take all the Purushas, Pradhana Prakriti, Purushaha, Jivaha, Tesham Ishvara. And another thing, that Ishvara Shabda, Ishvara means Swami or Lord, and that is anything even Rudra is called Ishvara. So Paramatma is also called Ishvara. So when should we say, how we take the meaning when we apply to Rudra, how we take the meaning when apply to Paramatma? When the word Ishvara itself, Ishanat Isha, one who controls, is called Isha. Vara means Shrestha. Ishvara means one who is a great Lord. So greatest Lord. So Rudra is greatest among all the ones at his under his level. So whoever are below Rudra, he is the Lord for all of them. So Ishvara Shabda is applicable to Rudra in slightly limited way, almost infinite meanings, except the ones who are above him. He controls everybody else who are below him. That's why the Ishvara Shabda applies to a great extent to Rudra, but not full extent. Whereas we take Paramatma, there are no qualifiers. He is applicable, he is Swami, Lord for everything. That's why he is Ishvara, Ishanam Varaha Sreshtaha. He is greatest Lord. That's why Ishvara, that's one meaning. Or Ishan, Ishebhyaha api varam dadati. Ishebhyaha, for Rudra is one Isha, Brahma is an Isha, Indra is an Isha. So for all the other lords, he gives boons to them also. That's why he's Ishvara. Ishebhyaha varan dadati. For all the lords, he gives the boons. That's why he's called Ishvara. So this is another meaning we can think about the Lord. And so here Pradhana, Prakriti, Purushaha, Jivaha, all the living beings. So the Lord who controls Jada Prakriti, Chetana Prakriti, all the living beings. That's why he's called Pradhana Purusheshwara. And then the word Pradhana itself can be split into two. Pradhana is important is one. Or Pra and Dhana. Split the word Pradhana as Pra and Dhana. Pra plus Dhana. Pra means Prakasha, Prakrushtena, a lot, plenty, infinitely or completely or a lot. So that is Prakrushtena, means plentifully. And then Dhane, Dharana Poshane. So Dharana Poshana means Paramatma, he does the Dharana Poshana. So that's why he's called Pradhana Purusheshwara. Dharana Poshana he does. That's why he is Pradhana. So Pradhana Purusheshwara, Pradhana, as I told, it can be applied to different ones. But different ones if we apply, when we apply to Paramatma, his Pradhana means he is Dharana Poshaka for everybody else. When we apply to Chaturmukha Brahma, he is Dharana Poshaka for everybody below him. So Prakrushta Dhana, that means completely taking care of the sustenance for all the beings under him. So Brahma can do that. That's why he is called Pradhana. Even Brahma can be called Pradhana. So this way Pradhana and Purusha can be applied to different beings in different contexts, in a different ways. So Chaturmukhartham Ashvahasan Rugadi Vidyam Ratiti Purusheshwara Saptamya Aluk. So Pradhana Purusheshwara, another way we can talk about is Paramatma is Pradhana, Paramatma is Purusha, Paramatma is Ishvara. He is Pradhana because, as we said, he is Dharana Poshaka for everybody. He is Pradhana, most important for everybody. He is Pradhana, he is the Niyamaka for Pradhana Prakriti, Pradhana Lakshmi. That's why he is Pradhana. The Niyamaka is called by the same name as the Niyamya. Whatever is controlled, the same name, because as a Bahurihi. Bahurihi means one who has Pradhana under his control is Pradhana. Paramatma is Pradhana because he has Pradhana under his control. Pradhana means what? Lakshmi. One who has Lakshmi under control, that's why it's called Pradhana. Or one who has Pradhana Namaka Prakriti under his control, so he's called Pradhana. So the word Pradhana can be applicable to Paramatma himself. Same way Purusha, we already saw Purusha has so many meanings. So the Purusha, whatever meanings we saw, all those meanings we can apply here. So Purusha, Purusha Namaka Paramatma, it is applicable to him. And Ishvara, so he is the Lord of everybody else. So that's why he is Ishvara. So Pradhana Purusheshwara, it can be applied separately each word to Paramatma. So he is Pradhanascha, so Purushascha, Ishvarascha. Everything the Lord is there. So he is called Pradhana Purusheshwara. And this Pradhana Purusheshwara can be applied at three different stages. He is Pradhana Purusheshwara during the Samsara Avastha. He is Pradhana Purusheshwara during Mukta Avasthas, because Mukta Jivas also, Jivatmas, they are even Muktas, they have Swarupa Deha. They do not have any physical bodies. The liberated souls have Swarupa Dehas, which are also like Pura Deha. They are like Patana, they are like so Swarupa Deha of Mukta Jivas, they can also be called Pura. In that way, the Mukta Jivas also can be called Purushas. So Paramatma is one who controls by being inside the Patana, the Swarupa Deha of liberated souls. That's why he is called Purushaha. So पुरुषाः मुक्तजीवाः तेषां नियामकः पुरुषः. One who controls all the liberated souls, that's why he is called Purushah. Or all the liberated souls are called Purushaah and their Ishvara, one who is the Lord of all the liberated souls. That's why he is called Purusheshwara. So with respect to Muktajivas also, we can think about that meaning. And then Pradhana Purusheshwara in Samsaravastha. Pradhana Purusheshwara when we migrate from Samsaravastha to Muktavastha. What does that mean? That means when we are in Samsaravastha, we have all the bondages. We have Lingadeha. We have everything. So once the Lingadeha is liberated, we have Swarupa Ananda Avirbhava. And then we will be in whatever place we are, Paramatma destines us to be there, we will be in that place. So that Muktavastha, Paramatma is Pradhana Purusheshwara, one who takes care of all the beings in the Muktavastha also, he is Pradhana Purusheshwara, and he also takes care of all the living beings from going from Amukta state, Mukta state. What does it mean? Because once we obtain moksha, are liberated, we do not even know what happens to us, where we go. So the vehicle or the process which is provided to us by which we go from unliberated state to the liberated state, wherever we are supposed to go, whatever way we are supposed to exist, whatever way the Swarupa Ananda, the inherent joy gets manifested, everything happens because of grace of Paramatma. So he makes it happen from unliberated to liberated. That migration process is not an easy process and we don't even know how to do it. Shastras will describe the process in a very broad terms, like whatever Archiradi Marga or whatever are the margas it talks about, but we don't know. It says okay, Archiradi Marga is there, we have to go through these lokas, but we don't even know the path to those lokas, we don't know the way to go, we don't know anything. So Paramatma takes us, guides us and leads us and makes us go from this state to that state. So that is called, so he in 3 different stages, he is Pradhana Purusheshwara. So this is also another way that we can think about. And then the Pradhana Purusheshwara, another way we can talk about, Ishvara is husband. That is another meaning. So Pradhana Purusha, as we saw in Bhagavad Gita, Dvaimo Purusha Loke Aksharascha Aksharas Sarvani Bhutani Kutastokshar Uchyate. So Akshara Purusha, Lakshmi is Akshara Purusha. So she is Pradhana and Purusha. So he is Pati of Pradhana Purusha or is Purusheshwara of Pradhana. If we take Pradhana as Lakshmi, Paramatma as Purusheshwara, he is Purusheshwara, husband, consort of Pradhana Namaka Lakshmi. So Pradhanayaha Purusheshwaraha Pradhana Purusheshwara, one who is husband of the Lakshmi Devi. Or if we take Pradhana and Purusha, Purusha is Akshara Purusha Lakshmi. So Pradhana cha Purusha cha Lakshmi Tasyaha Ishwaraha. So one who is the husband of Pradhana Namaka Purusha Namaka Lakshmi Devi, that's why is Pradhana Purusheshwara. So this way also we can think about. So Paramatma is Pradhana Purusha Ishvara. Or Pradhana Purusheshwara, another way we can think about is Pradhanam cha Purushasya Pradhana Purusha Ishvara Yena Saha. So Paramatma, what he does for Prakriti, he is Pati or husband, and for Chaturmukha Brahma, he makes him engage in all that. So he makes Brahma and Lakshmi and Brahma, both of them, in their activities, he gives the samarthatva or capability to perform their activities through his anugraha. So Pradhana Purusheshwara means one who grants the capability to perform various activities for Lakshmi and Chaturmukha Brahma. That's why Pradhana Purusheshwara. Another one is Purusha means suppose all the jivas. Pradhana Purusha means best among the jivas, Jivottama. So Pradhana Purusha is Jivottama Vayudeva. He is Pradhana Purusha because Purushas are jivas. Pradhana Purusha is Jivottama Vayudeva. So this Jivottama Vayudeva, his Ishvara is Paramatma. And he makes the Vayudeva to perform all his activities in a perfect fashion. He gives the samarthatva, capability to Vayudeva. He does the pranasya pranaha. He does anugraha to Jivottama Vayudeva. That's why he's called Pradhana Purusheshwara. That's another meaning. And another one is Pradhana Purusha Ishvara. Pradhana Purusha. Pradhana is all the female deities can be taken as Pradhana, like Lakshmi Devi or Saraswati, Bharati, all of them, and all the male deities, they can be taken as Purushas. So Pradhana, all the Pradhanas, and then all the Purushas. There Lakshmi Devi is having only Paramatma as her consort, and all the other goddesses like Saraswati has Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, Bharati has Vaideva, Sachi has Indra, like that, and then Garuda, Suparna. So like that, all the gods, they have their own consorts. Rudra, Uma Devi, like that. So all of the gods have their consorts. So the female deities are all Pradhanas and the male deities are all Purushas. So for them, he is Ishvara, Prabhu, Lord. That's why it's Pradhana Purusheshvara. So this is another meaning. So I pause it here so that if any questions are there, you can feel free to ask. So I'll get some other concepts also, additional concepts, and some other questions that come up with that. So that I'll discuss in the next class. Hare Srinivasa.